Well, hello there, Dippers, and welcome back to Game 28 of the Ducks on the Pond podcast, the official MLB podcast of Sauce on the Sign. As always, I'm Drake, joined by my co-host, producer, the man, Leighton Pip Shaventone.
Fuck you, Derek Jeter.
Hey, Ducks on the Pond here, kid. Ducks on the Pond. Let's go now, baby. Drive 'em in. Welcome to Ducks on the Pond.
A Sauce on the Side production. Okay. And unfortunately, guys, Lex could not make it today. He got a bug stuck in an orifice and is down for the count. Said he has to lay down all day. So, good luck, Lex. We'll be praying for you. So today we're going to talk just basically postseason baseball, guys. It's here. The wildness has already begun. We had a 13-inning thriller to kick off the MLB postseason, and we have some sweeps that are in line. But before we get to any of that, Leighton C., producer, you know what to do. All right, so heartbreaking, yes. But the Cubs lost a 13-inning classic to the Rockies. Probably a big surprise to a lot of people that the Rockies were able to beat the Cubs, especially with Lester on the mound. Kyle Freeland pitched as good as a game as you possibly can. The guy's a stud. But what do we see with the Cubs moving forward to next year? You know, it seems like they have all this. They got all this young talent. The young talent's starting to get older, and their most success was basically when a lot of these guys were still green. So, what moves do you think that they need to make to get back on top?
Well, we already know the Maddon situation. Joe Maddon is coming back next year. We're signing next year.
Did you see that people were talking about whether or not he should be fired?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you guys have good hitters, but you guys have as many one-run or fewer games as the Wheels.
That's not his fault.
It's not his fault.
That is the one thing that I feel like a manager can't control, how good your team hits. You can control the game, like, you can control what pitches are thrown, you can control who comes in to pitch, you can control everything, but you cannot control how good your team hits.
Yeah, that gives me my next point. You said it before, the Cubs have good young players, yeah, they're getting older, but they just didn't hit. And what do you do when you have good hitters that don't hit? What are you supposed to do with that?
Make them hit?
Yeah, exactly.
Take them out to the shed, make them hit?
The other big question mark you guys have is obviously one, Yu Darvish.
Yeah.
What's he going to get next year?
And Tyler Chatwood.
And Tyler Chatwood.
He's way better than what he pitched this season.
Chatwood figure it out in Chicago. And then you have the issue with your lineup as turning like the leadoff spot. Will you re-sign David Murphy? What's going to happen with Allison Russell? We know he's out 40 games next season, so a lot of question mark for the Cubs right now, but in the end, you guys still have, top 5, 6 times roster in all of baseball, probably top 3 times roster in all of baseball, so I think you'd be fine.
Yeah, whenever you look at who is coming back for the Cubs, a lot of guys go into those, years of arbitration this year, so it'll be very interesting to see what comes out of that. Daniel Murphy is, like you said, a free agent. So I feel like, as the Cubs, you need to solidify the leadoff spot, which I don't know if it's feasible. I mean, MLB, they have no salary cap. But if you have a problem with hitting the baseball, go get me Bryce Harper. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the easiest scenario. It's the easiest fix for that. Because Bryce Harper by himself makes everybody better. I mean, he does make everybody better.
Yeah, he protects himself. He doesn't even protect him for him. He don't throw him strikes anyway.
Yes, nobody throws him strikes. So you put him, you sandwich him with, Rizzo and Bryant. Who are you going to pitch to? You have to pitch to Bryce Harper because guess what? If you don't, you're going to have Chris Bryant right behind him and possibly Javier Baez. So I think that would be the biggest solution. Especially looking what the Brewers did this year, just kind of piecing stuff together, pitching-wise, making it work. I mean, you see pitchers go on runs all the time and have a great stretch, and like the A's were able to just piece a whole entire pitching staff together. Brewers did the same. Now, I get it that those teams have really good bullpens. The Cubs probably have to bolster the bullpen arms, but the bullpen isn't why this team is not playing October baseball.
Yeah, it's not. But I think you guys are going to be in the market for Bryce Harper. You guys, I can see it being back there. Murphy on a 1 year, 2 year deal, pay $5 million a year. Have him Ben Zobrist platoon second base, or figure out how to make a shortstop. Like I said, less about 40 games. But my bold prediction for the Cubs.
Oh, he goes into these years of arbitration with Russell.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, Russell arbitration?
Yes.
Oh, shit, that's gonna be a.
I don't know how that. I'm not 100% sure how arbitration really works, because every time I feel like it's a different scenario for each guy.
Basically, how arbitration works. The player posts a number. Like this year, Mookie Betts posted like $12 million. That's what he wanted to pay this season. Red Sox offered him $10 million because we thought he was worth. And eventually, they either meet in the middle or they go to like a trial, and the player usually comes out on top. And if it's kind of like the franchise tag, if they don't want to play for it, they guess they don't really have to.
That's unbelievable.
But most people people play for
Yeah.
it. Like it's millions of dollars still, and you're not gonna get hurt like in football.
Yeah, I think that I feel like if you pay Addison Russell, like, that's not setting a good standard for your team, obviously.
Yeah.
I would not be opposed to signing him and trading him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sign him to a good deal,
Trade for
trade him away.
Astros.
Yeah, Astros will absolutely take him.
Yeah, no
They have
problem.
no standard for their clubhouse at all. So I was kind of on the fence, like, hey, we might be able to trade Addison Russell. Like, he's still this young guy that people are drawn to,
Mm-hmm.
and people would utilize and think that he's a really good player, which he is. But this, I'm setting my flag in the sand. There's no way I want Addison Russell playing for the Cubs next season, if all this is true. Now, you're not guilty. You're innocent until proven guilty. But if all this comes out that he did it, trade his ass. Trade his ass yesterday.
Yeah, but most thing for the Cubs going in this offseason and next season is that they either trade or waive Ben Zobrist.
Yeah,
He's for that money.
I don't know about that. Ben Zobrist, he's.
The clubhouse guy now.
Yeah, I know.
It
You know
makes
what's
it
bad? Any time there's ever been a postseason game that I've been watching for the Cubs, there's two guys that I feel extremely secure being at the plate. That's Ben Zobrist and Anthony Rizzo, because I know that those guys are going to take these dumb ABs. Like, they're going to go up there and absolutely fight tooth
They're
and
going to
nail.
up on the bat. They have to.
Yeah,
and get the ball in play.
Yes. So he's one of those guys that I feel like, we need to squeeze the juice for all it's worth with him.
And he's a Joe Madden guy.
Yeah,
Absolutely. He'll probably have a team all season. But if he got waived at some point in time through performance,
I don't think you can waive him
or trade him, whatever, to save some money. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, if we trade Addison Russell and we don't re-sign Daniel Murphy, we get Bryce Harper. Then Ben Zobrist can play second all the time, for the majority of the season. So, so we'll go ahead and talk about the other wild card game. Yankees absolutely destroy the Athletics in the Bronx. Where do we see the A's going from here, basically? This is a loaded question because nobody can tap into the head of Billy Beane.
Yeah, well, I all know the A's had $66 million payroll, a quarter of what Boston has, less than anybody in baseball had, I'm pretty sure. Chris Davis had an MVP caliber season from a power standpoint, from an average standpoint. So basically, the A's, in my opinion, they should do is try to retain as many pieces as they have right now, and go try to do it again next season. Because I don't see a path. I mean, they can say, a good bullpen arm, a good platoon player here and there, but I don't see a path where they spend enough money this offseason to really get them past 97 wins again. Because 97 wins for them, colossal achievement. Colossal.
Oh, absolutely.
And so if I was the A's and Billy Beane, I would just retain as many pieces as I could and try to do it again next season.
Yeah, I think that's pretty smart. But we're looking at a team, man. Whenever it came down to a one-game wild card, it was a Game 7. They went bullpen. They went sheer bullpen. So
Analytics, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I really trust anything that they do. They do have the third lowest payroll in all of baseball, which is awesome. That they actually make the postseason, lower than the Miami Marlins, who really did a good job cleaning that up last season.
They really cut some payroll.
But I mean, do you think Edwin Jackson's going to be able to do this again? You think Trevor Cahill's going to be able to do this again? Like, no.
They're going to have to find new back-end starters.
Yeah.
Sure.
But back-end starters, my ass, these guys had to be front-end starters for this team.
A big issue they have, too, is Sean Menendez out all next season.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. They are going to be the front-end starters. So
they won't happen at all.
Yeah. Obviously, pitching.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would help. Because, I mean, the bullpen is filthy, but you just have to get to the bullpen with a lead. Because I feel like they have enough quality bats on this team to, keep things afloat. I know we dig at Matt Chapman a lot, but he's a really good baseball player. Chris Davis is just a beast. He's the real Crush Davis.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a tough one to figure out what they're going to do, just because you never know with the Athletics. There was like a 2-week span where this team was a buyer. That was like the only 2-week span in MLB history that this team has been a buyer. So I have no idea what to expect to him, and I'm not even going to try to figure it out.
Chris Davis.
Do you remember that like 2 week span? They were like, all right, we're going to go get John Lester. We're going to get Jeff Samardzija.
Yep.
Like they went out there.
Cespedes?
Yeah, Cespedes.
Yep.
Didn't pay off.
Well, so Chris Davis going to a third-year arbitration. He'll be a free agent after this season. He got paid $10.5 million.
Could you imagine if he was still on the Brewers?
Yeah, I forgot he was on the Brewers.
Yeah, that would be scary.
But I don't know, he'll probably make like $11 to $12 million this year, or they can just buy arbitration this time for like, I don't know, 6 years, try again for $70 million. If the A's can't even do that,
yeah.
Is the question.
Well, you know what you're going to get out of the dude. 247 with
4 years in a row.
Yes, with a ton of home runs.
40 home runs.
So, he is the model for a 2018 MLB baseball player.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the NLDS, both of them actually. We'll start off with the Rockies and Brewers. Brewers have a commanding lead 2-0 on Colorado. The game is actually in the Rockies today. Wade Miley versus German Marquez. Who's going to win this game? And who's going to win this series ultimately?
This game I'm going to take the Rockies because I've seen Wade Miley throw for the Red Sox, I've seen him throw for the Twins, I've seen him throw for the Yankees. He sucks. He's not good.
There's a reason why he's been on all those teams.
Whenever I went to see who throw in this game for Wade Miley, I was honestly kind of stunned. I was like, okay. I guess they're just going to say, well, 2-0. Let's hope we can get this done.
This is the kind of stuff that you can do whenever you have Christian Yelich hitting like 400, Ryan Braun playing, decent, and, basically Christian Yelich hitting 400. And anytime a guy gets on, he drives him in.
Yeah, and
you feel comfortable starting Wade Miley?
No, not at all. But you're up 2-0,
yeah.
So what was it happen? You're around 2-1. Good guys from this, I guess. This is the game. I think the Rockies are going to win this game. Desperate back against the wall. Do I see them coming back and winning 3 straight against the Brewers? No.
Absolutely not.
I consider winning both games in Colorado, but it's hard for me to imagine them going back and beating Sashin or Anderson, who we want to throw out in Game 5.
Yeah, I think that this is, for the Rockies standpoint, it's going to be like an all-hands-on-deck situation. It won't be like that for the Brewers, so I think they'll sneak this one out. But I think this one's over in 4. But the Brewers are definitely going to win this one.
Kind of to see it, honestly. I like the Rockies.
Yeah, I do too. That's a bad thing. They obviously beat the Cubs, but they're one of those teams that no matter if you like them or you don't, you have to respect that team because they have 2 guys on the team that have probably already should have won an MVP. They'll never get that love because they play in Colorado. They have. Dude, Chuck Nasty is so cool. He's unbelievably cool. And Nolan Arenado is probably the best third baseman in the MLB.
Yeah.
And, you have to respect that team.
The Rockies, unless you're like a fan of the Diamondbacks, I'm not going to say...
But even why would you hate them?
I'm not going to say Dodgers and Padres in this.
Yeah.
There's no way you can hate Charlie Blackmon and Nolan Arenado.
No, there's no way.
No way. They never done anything wrong. They're just good at baseball.
Yeah, they're just good at baseball. So we'll go ahead and talk about the Braves and the Dodgers. Dodgers have a commanding 2-0 lead. Game 3 is in Atlanta. Walker Buehler, he actually pitched Game 163 versus Sean Newcomb. Hopefully he's not on his Twitter account. Who's going to win this series?
This is another one when I look at pitching for the Dodgers. Walker Buehler, I listened to the radio broadcast of that game where he just went, I don't know, 7 inning with the RBI. Somebody called him the Dodger ace. I was like, okay, that's a little bit of a hot take. I'm taking the Braves again. For some reason, I took the Rockies. All hands on deck, back against the wall. But,
it's hard to get swept.
Yeah, really hard to get swept. In the regular season, and now the postseason, against playoff teams, hard to sweep somebody. But unlike the Rockies, I can see the Braves come back and win this series because they are a better team than what they showed in this series. They scored no runs so far.
Yeah.
They haven't scored a run. They're a better team than that.
They're like the second team ever to start off like no runs in the first 2 games.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that they will come back and beat the Dodgers, but I can see this. I can see it happening.
Yeah. I think that if Walker Buehler doesn't go out there and just completely throw a lights out game, I think the Braves are going to force a Game 5. I think the Dodgers are going to win it. I mean, obviously they're up 2-0 right now. Manny Machado's playing well. That's a good sign for the Dodgers. That's a good sign for you.
That's why they got him.
Keep him out of.
Keep him out of the American League.
Yeah.
Keep him away from New York.
That's what you need to be hoping for. You need to be hoping that the Dodgers go out there today and just put the final nail in the coffin. That's what you need.
Then they go ahead and sweep through the Brewers and then, yeah.
So Indians, Astros are absolutely killing the Indians. Series heads to Cleveland. This postseason has kind of been a letdown. I mean, it's just like it looks like we're going to have 3 sweeps potentially. Game 3 is in Cleveland. Michael Clevenger, Dallas Keuchel. Who do you got?
I mean, for the series, I have to go with the Astros. Honestly, I think Astros are going to sweep them right here. I don't think they'll win this game. This is second postseason in a row where the Indians have gotten basically nothing out of their star players. Yalin and Dor had the home run yesterday. Jose Ramirez hasn't done anything. Brantley hasn't really done much. They got John Donaldson. He had an error yesterday that I saw. Encarnacion, I don't know if he even touched the bat this series. Like, it sucks for the Indians. They've already played a okay season, and then they're just overmatched by the Astros in basically every facet of baseball.
Yeah, this has really surprised me, honestly, that the Indians fell behind so early. And you know, it's not even like where we see holes in the Indian. It's their starting pitching. You know, in Game 1, I know that the Astros were able to rattle Kluber around a little bit, which surprised me. It seems like the Indians always find a way to just mess it up. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, they had the Cubs dead in the rights and lost a 2-game lead. I don't know. I think that I think the Astros are probably going to sweep them. It just seems like the Indians just can't. They just haven't. Ever since the Cubs came back in that 3-1 deficit, as soon as Game 5 started, the Indians just did not have it anymore, and they haven't had it since. Yeah. I mean, look at last season. Yeah. They get into the postseason, they look like this team that we're like, oh shit, this team's going to win the World Series. Isn't even going to be close. They've won like 21 games going into the postseason, and then bam, right out of the playoffs.
Yeah, watching that game yesterday, whenever they went down 2-1, they brought in Andrew Miller, who 2016, was lights out. Got knocked around, didn't make it through the inning, brought in Trevor Bauer. Why not bring in Brad Hand?
Yeah, that's a good
Andrew
point.
Miller has had a bad season all year going into last season. You traded a top prospect for this guy. Mm-hmm. Don't even the situation. I can't hate on Terry Francona's decision to start Andrew Miller because just historically the postseason.
Remember whenever we argued about whether or not you do this trade?
Yeah.
Why would you do the trade if you're not going to bring him in this spot?
Exactly. Like this could say the whole 20 minutes of airtime one episode if he was not done this trade.
Yeah.
But I can't fault Terry Francona for going with this guy who's just a postseason ace basically in the past. He didn't have it yesterday, hadn't had it all season, and that shows is clearly a better team.
Yeah. At one point, Andrew Miller was the best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, 2016 is lights out.
Yeah, there was like a few months where he was
Cubs Game 5.
Yeah, that's true. Man, the Indians. I know that I feel like I put this like ungodly amount of expectations on an Indians team that probably shouldn't even be where they're at right now. I expected them to just cruise to the division title. They did, but they didn't win that many games in doing so. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're the team They had like 4 teams in their division that won all like 70 or fewer games or something. Like it was
It's
atrocious.
the worst division in history. They have good players.
Yeah, they have excellent players.
They have good players, but it's kind of like the Cubs. What do you do when you have good players that just don't produce? You can't do anything about it. It's just baseball. It's not basketball. It's just what it is.
Yeah, it is. And it's not like you can call it a team sport, but it's not a team sport. Like if everybody's out there, like my production doesn't affect your production. It doesn't affect the next guy's production. It's one-on-one, pitcher, hitter, every single time. So it doesn't make any sense whenever star players just fall short like that.
Yeah, there are no moving parts. It's not basketball, but you have 4 of the guys doing stuff. It's
where you can do some stuff to like bring in some momentum.
Yeah,
like you have to have one guy get a hit.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about baseball, and it's the bad thing about baseball.
Yes. So probably the only interesting series that we have to date, Yankees Red Sox. Series is tied, heading to New York. Game 3 is tomorrow. It's probably going to be Rick Porcello, which Leighton, what happened the last time Rick Porcello threw in Yankee Stadium?
Complete game, 1-hit shutout.
And he will be taking on Luis Severino. I like that for the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox are going to crush him in Game 3.
I do too. I like facing the lefty. It's on the side, but I'm 99% sure we're going to Rick Porcello because I can't see us going into New York tied 1-1.
Pomeranz.
Yes,
Pomeranz.
I don't care what the score is tomorrow in that game. I don't care if we're down by 5-6. I want Pomeranz in the game.
Yeah.
Period. He just Pomeranz always has that my dog just died look on his face.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm noticing the guy. He has no chin. He's like a hot dog.
Yeah.
Basically, if a hot dog with arms and legs, it's Drew Pomeranz's body.
He's just bad. He's just a bad pitcher.
He's not. He is bad. But no. Still have Vic Porcello. But I'm not going to go into New York tied 1-1. Still a lefty against those freaking.
You guys are going to start a Cy Young arm tomorrow.
We still a Cy Young winner. How many Cy Youngs do Luis Severino have?
None.
How many Vic Porcello have?
I gave one.
Vic Porcello had more Cy Youngs than a lot of pitchers in baseball.
Does he have? No, never mind. I was going to say that he had more than the whole Yankee staff, and I forgot CeCe was on there.
Yeah, CeCe's, not when I once was. At one point in time, though, CeCe was the best pitcher in baseball, too.
Yeah,
you can't forget that.
Best pitcher in baseball, turned alcoholic, turned good pitcher again.
Yeah. But David Price doesn't have the postseason. He can't be a starter.
No.
What
in the world is that? I mean, we talked about how like the Cubs and the Indians, like their star players don't play well in the postseason right now. But what in the hell, dude? David Price is ungodly bad in the postseason. That's all between the ears.
Yeah.
That's all mental.
It's not even just the postseason itself. Because last year he did good out of the bullpen. Real good out of the bullpen. But when you start getting the postseason, you can't do it. Against the Yankees this season, I talked about last night. I think he's pitched like 11 innings, allowed 12 runs. Like, really, really, really bad against the Yankees. Basically, all past 2 seasons. In between the ears. And I think sometimes he forgets that he can't throw 98 miles an hour anymore.
Yeah.
And that he has to throw a cutter for contact. And the Yankees, what happened when we throw a good contact to them? They hit the ball 400 feet. And that's the issue with David Price. That's why he can't throw against the Yankees. Launch angle, kill David Price.
Yeah. I do not want the Yankees to win. I can't stand the fans, man. They won one game against the Red Sox, and then everything just explodes on Instagram, Twitter, everything. Like, I can't handle that.
Yeah. Do you see what they threw the beer on that A's fan?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not going to sit here and say that Boston fans, just model citizens never do anything wrong, because that's definitely not true. But we're not going to throw beer on an A's fan. The lone A's fan in the stadium.
That is the saddest fan base you could possibly do that to. Like,
and they're getting demolished even. Like, it's not even talking shit, just watching the game.
They are the least threatening fan base probably of all time. And you know what's hilarious about that? Is that they're the same damn people that dress up on Sundays and come sit in the black hole. So, is that not the craziest turnaround?
It is.
It's like, during the week, we go to church, we're A's fans, we're good people. But on Sundays, we dress up and get in the black hole, and there's a good chance somebody might get stabbed. And I love that about A's fans, dude. They're crazy.
Yeah. it'll be interesting to meet a diehard A's and diehard Raiders fan.
I met a Raiders fan one time at the sports book in Vegas, and the guy was telling me, he said, everybody had always told me how, dangerous it was to go to the black hole and how, it's not a very safe place. He goes, I took my kids there for the first 10 years of their life. He said, and then I took my brother, who was a Vikings fan, and the Vikings came into town, and the whole entire game he kept getting beer and peanuts thrown on him, and everybody was cussing at him, and I decided, well, this is probably the last game I'm going to bring my kids to until they're old enough to actually come and realize that these people are idiots.
Yeah. This is kind of off topic. Do you feel like there's a disconnect between the A's and Raiders fans and the Warrior fans in Oakland?
Absolutely. There seems to be nothing that brings all of them together.
You forget
except
that
the fact they play in the same stadium.
You forget that they're just across like a 40-mile body of water. I don't think it's 40 miles long. You see the other side, so it's less than 20 miles.
I don't get it, because you have the A's, you have the Raiders, and the Warriors. They're all the same thing.
Yeah.
Same town, but none of them do anything with the others, I feel like, and it feels like they're not even in the same city.
It's like the Golden Gate Bridge, I guess. It's just like a force field to where they want anything to do with Golden State.
Yeah.
They don't have anything to do with Oakland.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that, like, you even think about, like, Boston Red Sox. What team do you associate with them?
The Celtics, Patriots, Bruins, all the sports teams in Boston?
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense to me. You think about the Cubs, like, I feel like there's a closer connect between the Cubs and the White Sox than what there are between the A's and the Raiders.
Yeah, and the Cubs are technically out of Chicago. Like, they cannot be more north.
Yeah, they're very north.
It literally cannot be farther apart. South side or on the north side.
Yeah, I don't get it. That whole fan base in Oakland, they're hilarious, and it's odd. Yeah. They're an odd group. But they don't deserve beer on their head, though.
Yeah, back to the City fast, though. Red Sox really aren't playing bad from a hitting standpoint. Last time it was with 2 runs, but the game was out of hand early. But, man, I'd hate to see this. It'd be awful if we just went into the Bronx and won both games in the series. I hate to see it.
I think that's what's going to happen. I really do.
I feel awful for the Yankee fans.
Yeah.
Awful.
It's a good thing you're not going to the game. Otherwise, you get a good beer on your head after the Red Sox put this away. I had the Red Sox in 3 or 4. I think that's going to stay. They're just the better team. So we'll get to anything more than... Oh, and by the way, postseason baseball is not just a popularity contest. You have to actually go play games.
That's true.
So I think that the Red Sox will win. Anything more than a fallacy. This is a little bit of postseason edition. George Springer has homered in 5 straight postseason games. He is second all-time to Daniel Murphy, who has 6, and kind of... jump-started the Cubs getting eliminated in 2015. Do you think that he's going to break the record?
Yeah, he's just proven that he's a really good postseason home run hitter. He's like kind of Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge, I think, has 7 home runs in 15 postseason games. Springer has 5 straight. He had, I think, 8 or 9 overall. He's good in postseason. I think he can lock this down.
No way.
No way?
Nope. I don't think he has the clutch gene in him. I don't know why. But, I mean, George Springer, he's a decent baseball player. But Daniel Murphy, whenever he was doing it, he was a decent baseball player as well. 6 is a lot. Mm-hmm. 6 is a lot. I know he only has 5. He already has 5. To do it one more time, especially against this Indians team, will be quite a challenge. And the thing is that he's done it against this Indians team and that Dodgers team. So, like, these are really freaking good teams with really, really good pitching staffs. So it makes it, like, twice as impressive.
Maybe they're scared of him. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe they throw some meatballs.
What if they just walk him? That would be awesome, just to get him to not have the record.
Come for a little spot and come put it out the 4 fingers.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Just throw him on base. Clayton Kershaw pitched 8 innings in Game 2 of the NLDS against the Braves and only had 3 strikeouts. This is the second such outing of his career. Kershaw has gone 8 or more innings with 3 or more strikeouts 78 times. Are you serious?
That's a lot. Yeah, since...
I didn't think I was reading that right. Whenever I was going through it, I'm like, no, there's no way in hell. And I'm like... Well, I am reading that right. That is, holy smokes.
Yeah, Kershaw's, pretty good at throwing baseball. Definitely used to be for sure. But how many times that happened again, I don't know, because the days of guys going 8 innings are kind of over, I think.
Yeah, I do think that. Now, as far as like 78, do you know how many other guys have done that?
Over baseball a lot. For the Dodgers, actually 10th all time. But Dodgers had some pretty good pitchers. They had Don Sutton, Don Drysdale, Sandy Koufax, Fernando Valenzuela.
Oh,
Claude
yeah. Do
Osteen.
you remember him?
Osire? No.
Give him a Google.
Give him a Google. I'll Google after this.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys above him, but he's 10th. Close to being 9th. Well, close to being 6th, honestly. Close to being 5th.
Yeah. But I mean, for guys to throw 8 innings, like,
It's not
after the 2000, 10
Yeah.
days, that went out the window whenever teams just started bolstering up these bullpens. More often than not, that you're like 3rd, 4th, maybe even your best pitcher are all in the bullpen.
Yeah,
So, this is crazy. That's a crazy stat to hold while you're playing in 2018.
Yeah, and for example, that's like how they talked about how that doesn't happen much anymore. Don Sutton did 222 times.
Yeah,
Koufax
that's crazy.
did 167 times, but they were throwing 9 anytime they went out there, no matter what.
Yeah, and you look at Kershaw, man, like today, to get through 8 innings, that's 3 pitchers for most teams.
Oh, yeah.
That's 3 pitchers. So just to knock that down, because, I mean, in the postseason, teams always like to have a 7th inning guy, 8th inning guy, 9th inning guy. That way they can kind of cruise to the finish line. And he's basically taking the spot of 3 pitchers. How do you survive with a bad bullpen if you're the Dodgers?
You have
Kershaw go 8 innings strong.
Yep, pretty sure you gotta do.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. So view from the cheap seats. Leighton C., what are you excited for this week?
Well, I mean, we're going to have the NLCS starting. I'm not excited for it. I'm anxious and nervous, but that's actually anxious, though. That's what I'm looking at all week.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be more dialed into the Red Sox and Yankees than anything else, because, I mean, the other two are probably going to be out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited for it all. Anything else before we get out of here and go watch some football?
No, but like you said, that was in football.
And on that note, for Drake, for Leighton C., Dippers, as always, stay saucy.